Oh, low power mode, power mode. What is up, my loyal following, friends, family, whoever is watching this on YouTube? Just wrapped up the day. 6:09 is where we're at right now. Got a little bit of a late start on the day due to my massive amounts of traveling yesterday and the massive amount of action I'm taking to reach my goals. That includes my 60 days of service business building, my 60 days, what started as service business building that's going to turn into 60 days of Andrew madness. I think I'm just going to include everything in that. I just got done at the office right now having a meeting with Amelia, my dad, and Drew about our new home that we are breaking ground on tomorrow. And if you're a close friend of mine, you know how this has gone. It has been a battle from the time we sold our last home that we built back in April to getting the blueprints done, funding done with the bank, all that good stuff to get this house on the road. Not to mention, I have a couple jobs that I happen to work. But anyways, it's been a long ride, and it came down to the wire. Yesterday, I went from Dallas-Fort Worth, flew to Lubbock, Texas, did some stuff there, hopped in a truck, went to Plains, Texas, did some stuff, came back to Lubbock, back to Amarillo, back to Pampa, got in somewhere around 10:30 or so at night last night, probably didn't go to bed till 11:30, then turned around, alarm went off a little bit later than normal, but a little bit before 6 o'clock because I have a complex about not waking up and there being a 5 in front of the time. It makes me feel like I have totally slept in, and there's a dog walking across the street. So a little bit before 6 this morning, which caused my day to be a little bit chaotic. So I'm actually going to run over to the lot right now. You know, being a business owner, small business owner, our financials, sometimes we do things for tax purposes. Tax liability mitigation would be the word that we do sometimes, which is good when it comes to reinvesting in our business and not paying way too much to Uncle Sam. But what it does bad is sometimes when it's time to get funding on something like, say, a home build, then it can make it appear as if you don't make as much money as you actually do. So that was some of the part that just dealing with the bank, trying to get all those things done. But closing got pushed. It was supposed to be Monday. Of course, I was traveling, pushed all the way to today, which is Wednesday. And it was a fight from start to finish, all the way up to closing today. This is the same shit that happened last time. Banks, I don't understand how the people who underwrite and who do loans are in charge of the amount of money that they're in charge of, because there are so many times, and I don't want to go on a like crazy rant. If you're in banking, like, you may not be the problem, but there are people who are the problem, that the amount of money they're in charge of and the incompetency, like the details that are fought through the whole thing to get approved for their loan. Like as soon as it gets through underwriting and I get to closing today, there are so many details that are left out. How the interim construction funding will go as far as payments and accounts and all this kind of stuff. I spent an hour and a half in closing today because it get calls back from the title office to the bank, back and forth, trying to figure this stuff out. Now, my title company here in Pampa, Texas is incredible. Shelly Cook takes great care of me every single time. And in fact, she a lot of times does a better job than some of the banks do when we're doing deals, explaining to me what's going on, which I feel like is outside of her wheelhouse. But that goes towards just good customer service in general. You know, I would move mountains to make sure I worked with Shelly, whereas if a better deal came up with the bank or a different bank for financing, I would move in a heartbeat. You know, the only reason that I went with the bank that I had now, that I'm going with on this one, is because of the relationship I have with a banker who's not even my banker anymore, and the fact that they already have all my information because I do business with them on the business side of things. So I just felt as if I would go with them because it was a path of least resistance, and that's a pretty sad place to be. Like from a business standpoint, you don't want your customers doing business with you simply because it sounds hard for them to change, right? Because what happens is the second another bank approaches me that can handle this stuff better with more competency, more customer service, I'm gone, right? I'm out the door. But even if it comes down to the last minute and a bank screws up something, say they put the wrong title company on it, I'm going to stop and pump the brakes and make sure I go and do business with Shelly and with a title company that's treated me so well because they care, right? They care and they'll help out with it. So anyways, all the way up to closing, had to go back and forth with calls and all that good stuff, but got it done. Mostly. Hell, the EFT hasn't gone through all the way, so still waiting on confirmation for that. But we got it done, and we are sitting right out here. I'm sitting right out here. I think I'll make a loop real quick looking at the lot. We'll get a shot of this today because I got to have some sort of documentation of the day before the madness begins, because I call it madness because it's a lot of stuff to get done. But the fact is I've got an incredible team with me and behind me on this one. You know, I'm just a budget guy, honestly. Carrie, my dad, and Amelia will run the show, and we've got this schedule built out like crazy scheduling scientists. So yeah, I'm pumped about that. And the thing is, you might say, well, that all that drama, all that chaos and everything you talked about, Andrew, did that not ruin your day? Did that not keep you away from business? Hell no. It was a part of the day, but it doesn't take me away from my focus, and I do not allow things like the incompetency of the bank to ruin my day or put me in a bad mood to take me away from the things that I know I've got to get done. So I'm going to actually roll down my window here, and since I'm filming on YouTube, I can turn around. So here's the shot, the virgin ground, where it's all going to go down. There will probably be plenty of Snapchats. No, I don't even do Snapchat. What the hell am I talking about? It's probably just deliriousness. There will be plenty of Insta stories is what I was trying to say from that lot there. So if you're interested in watching how to build a home, I'm going to show you how to do it and try to make it fun from start to finish on this deal. So we're breaking ground tomorrow, and I'm excited about that. We had a sales meeting this morning, and I need to think of a better name for it, but we call it a sales savage meeting. And we've changed our meetings. I've been using, jokingly, the hashtag sessions over lessons because historically our sales meeting were me in a room teaching something or giving a lesson, and really sometimes that can almost turn into a lecture, and you even ask people for input, but it's like, well, Andrew's just going to get in a soapbox for a couple hours, so we might as well listen until we get out of here. We've changed those to where they're more work sessions, hunting sessions, if you will, looking for new customers that we can bring on. And there was a lot of good light bulb moments in that today, specifically more or less the concept or the thought that it is our moral obligation, you hear me say that, you hear Matt say that all the time, to close people who our service set matches their need. And if you're ever confused when you see me say that, whether it is in a part of my organization, whether it is me putting stuff out for ACR or roofing or Ammons Roofing, what I mean by that is if God has blessed me with the talents to make good money and enhance and create an incredible life for myself, my family, my customers who I work for and do deals with, if God has blessed me with the ability to do that, then it is an ethical issue if I am not taking every opportunity, learning everything I can, and taking every shot I can to close every single person on my business, right? And where that becomes an ethical issue is I have the ability to make my life and my family's life and the people's life around me better. If I'm not going all out and taking every opportunity, just like this, the 60 days of videos, then I have failed with my moral obligation to put out the action and the effort to achieve those things. And that may sound crazy to you, but I believe it wholeheartedly. If I have the ability to do that and I don't, then I'm in the wrong. So that was one of the biggest things that we talked about in the sales meeting today, because a lot of times sales guys our sales team, they don't want to direct message people. They don't want to do a lot of loud stuff on Facebook and all that stuff because they're worried that people are going to say, well, that guy's always trying to sell something. He's always trying to get more business. And there's some sort of negative connotation to that. But the fact is, if your product is good and you're really doing it because you believe you're the best, and you have behind you the fact that your moral obligation is to take care of yourself, your family, and create the absolute best life you can possibly create with what God has gifted you with, then there's nothing to be afraid of in that standpoint. So that goes the same for any of you guys out there. If some of my group that's following me right now is more service industry experts, service industry pros who are in the trades. That goes the same for the way you operate your business. I know it's getting dark outside. Even if you're not in sales, if it's just how you operate your business and how you manage your business, it is your God-given responsibility, duty, and obligation to operate at the absolute best from the abilities you've been blessed with. Otherwise, you got a serious ethics issue. You don't have a can I do it issue. And that's where I say a lot of this comes from influences between some of the network and some of the teachings and stuff I listen to. I've been finishing, actually I'm listening to the second time, Grant Cardone's the 10X rule. And a lot of that's in there. If any of you guys have listened to that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because some of this is just rebranded. But it's enlightening to hear that stuff. So I got off on another tangent. This is usually how I work. The fact is, it's a long day. I was a little late to the office, which also made me a little late home. Had an awesome sales meeting. Translated a little bit of some core values with our team as to what we need to be doing. Got the closing done on the home. Met with our awesome ops admin for Ammons Companies, Erin, and talked to her a little bit about how long-term she can continue to work with the team to grab the pieces she needs to get jobs into production so that we can help more people. And then, of course, wrap that up with another home meeting. So we are locked and loaded to build this house. We have everything prepped. Our schedule is built all the way to the end. So I'm going to show how something that some builders, and this is my side gig, right? So some builders, it takes them 9 to 12 months to build a house like this. I'm going to build it in 5. I'm going to do it easy. I'm going to do it like Trump, under budget and ahead of schedule. So watch it happen. Tomorrow, maybe I'll have some good points for people who are looking for something for service industry, knowledge and or just general information about our companies. But of course, I've already said the company's name. You can search that. If you're looking for a group of small business owners who are pushing the limits, who are collective and trying to grow themselves, check us out in our Facebook group at Small Business Big Thinkers. Just search Small Business Big Thinkers in Facebook, and then we'll call them up there. Hell, I'll drop the link in this. And ask to join the group because I think we're like 3,000 people strong right now, and it's a bunch of small business owners, managers, and leaders who collectively talk back and forth, ask for advice. It's a private group, so people outside the group can't see it. I'd love to have you in there if some of the stuff I talk about piques your interest. So you guys have a good one. 13 minutes is a short one, but I'm sitting outside of the house right now, my house I'm living in now, and I want to go see Olivia because she has been sick, and that's all I got. You guys have a good one. We'll catch you on Thursday.